Hey Saddle Hunters, I'm Shan with Seasons Change Productions, and today I'm going to do a review of the Tethrd Mantis. Stay tuned. Finally got my Tethrd Mantis the other day. Came in this pretty awesome box. To give you an idea of the lead time, I ordered it on April 10th and it arrived on June 28th. So you're looking at about a 2.5 month lead time right now. Tethrd is working as hard as they can to get those products out, but I think they had such a huge influx of orders they're working to catch up right now. I got the snapback hat in camo because it's cool. The Mantis saddle, obviously, in size medium, and the Predator platform. Here's an idea of the prices for each of these items. And to reiterate from my last video, I'm 6'3", 195 pounds, I have a 32-inch waist, and once again I ordered the medium saddle. And as you'll see later in the video, it ends up fitting me pretty well. Here's a list of the things that I'm going to go over in this video. I'm going to try to keep it concise and to the point. Lastly, I'll talk about the Predator platform and how viable of a hunting tool I think it is. Okay, so number one, let's talk about the weight of this saddle. A lot of the hype surrounding the Mantis is that it's the lightest saddle on the market. Advertised at 16 ounces, so right at a pound. My scale had it at 1 pound, 2 ounces. Maybe gravity was a little stronger that day, or my scale was a little off. Predator platform, advertised at 3 pounds. My scale had it about 3 pounds, 5 ounces, so pretty close on both. Number two, buckles and adjustments. So this is the waist buckle. It's made out of a hard aluminum. It's definitely a load-bearing device and probably a lot safer than any of us will ever need. The leg straps and leg buckles are a little bit unique, and I think Tethrd saved a lot of weight here. It's also this hardened aluminum, and it's got a little hook that hooks up into the waist strap. Just like that. Demonstrate it here on the other side. I do have concerns that getting this done in the dark might be a little bit hard, but just like anything else with practice, I'm sure it'll come easier. Here's another spot on the saddle where you can attach it. Alright, number three is the material of the saddle. It's made of this mesh material that does look super breathable. It's pretty silent, and it also has a little bit of a stretch to it, which I'm sure will help with comfort. Okay, number four is the molly loops. They appear well sewn, pretty sturdy. They are a little bit tight, but I'm sure they'll get a little bit wider with use. Number five, I'll talk about the bridge and attachment points. So this is an Amsteel blue bridge. Tethrd decided to make it fixed. According to Tethrd, it can hold 5,000 pounds. Here on this side, it's held by a spliced eye. The bridge attaches to the bridge attachment on the saddle, and above that you can see the lineman's loop where you would attach your lineman's belt. Now, let's take a look at how she rides on the tree.
Initial impressions of the saddle is that it feels okay, but I can tell it's riding up. I'm about to adjust that here. And then this platform, I mean, that thing feels rock solid.
I decided to keep the saddle where it was for now just to see how it felt. I know a lot of users have experienced this where it creeps up, so I just wanted to see how that felt. Some people wouldn't adjust it at all and complain about it, so I just kind of wanted to see how that felt. I like to keep my bridge right around forehead height. I was testing out that Predator platform, kind of seeing how it felt. I'm used to a ring of steps, so this was an adjustment, but it felt pretty good to me. And you can see me putting some side pressure on there just to see how it handles it. After that, I went to some shooting positions. I wanted to see how good a T-form I could get in different spots. I wasn't 100% comfortable with the platform yet, but I know that over time it's probably going to beat out the ring of steps for me for sure. You can see me, I basically went all the way around the tree and covered most of the shot angles and felt pretty good about all of them. After a while I did pull it down, and you'll see I'll pull it down one more time, and that's where I'll really find that sweet spot. Pulling that molly webbing down to about 1 inch or 2 inches below your waistline seemed like the best place for me. And once I got it there, I was actually very comfortable.
I do really like this Amsteel Blue bridge. All the adjustment can be done with your tether. Right now I just have a Prusik on here, but if you attach a Rope Win 1 ascender to it, that could really make adjustments super fast and easy. As it is, having this fixed bridge feels great to me. If I need to make an adjustment, all I gotta do is come up, since I'm standing on the Predator platform, takes the tension off the tether, slide it up, or slide it down. And right about here is feeling pretty comfortable to me.
I wanted to take a second and show you how to properly put the Predator platform onto the tree. Some guys have complained about it kicking out or being unstable, and if you look at the directions or watch some of the other videos on YouTube, you can see exactly how to lock this thing down. So first step, like I just showed, is to get that strap nice and tight. Have the platform cammed up before you tighten down the strap, and then cam it down for the first time. Hook in with your tether. I would have already had my lineman's belt on at this point. Go ahead and stand on that T-post. Lift up the platform and then cam it back down. And once you cam it back down, it's not going anywhere.
So first thing I was worried about was the weight, but I think it's outweighed by the benefits. Second thing was I was worried about the thing kicking out, and I saw some reviews where it was kind of kicking out under people's feet. But once you stand on that T-post, lift it up, stand on the T-post, and then cam it back down, that thing locks in. And you can see right now, pushing a good amount on that thing, and it's barely wiggling, barely wiggling. So that's awesome. The other thing is that standing on those ring of steps, you really only had half an inch of surface area that your foot was standing on. So you would get pretty uncomfortable, especially for long sits. This one, you have, you know, I think it's 11 inches or so by 7.5 inches. So you got something you can actually set both your feet on comfortably, and it's gonna distribute that weight a lot better. You can sit, lean, hang back, whatever you gotta do. And this saddle's gonna, or this platform is really gonna accommodate that for you. The last thing I was worried about was the angles of shooting around the tree. I knew that the ones behind you, so at your 6 o'clock position, so directly behind, would be easier because you can just kind of maneuver your feet back. But I was worried about getting around the tree, and I think I showed in this last segment that that's actually really easy. So overall for the Predator platform, this thing is awesome. Number 8, final thoughts. I'd like to start by saying that everything you've seen in this video, and including what you're about to hear, are all my opinions. I've hunted out of saddle for 3 seasons now, 3 full seasons. So I'm not a complete newbie, but I'm also not a guy who's been hunting at them for 20 years. The first thing I'd like to talk about in regards to the Mantis is the weight of the Mantis and its viability as a hunting saddle. So the weight, it's obviously the lightest saddle out there that you can get commercially. You could probably DIY something, maybe a little lighter. I don't know, it'd still be hard to beat how lightweight this product is. So if you're a guy that's going deep in public land, or you just have long hikes to wherever your stands are, I think the Mantis really shines in that aspect. If you need lightweight, if you're concerned about sweating, if you hunt the early season a lot, and those things like breathability, portability, and weight are big to you, then I think the Mantis is hands down the best platform out there for you to buy. The second thing I want to talk about is the comfort of the Mantis. So where it's strong in being super lightweight, being super breathable, and very packable, the Mantis gives a little bit in the comfort aspect. So I was able to get it where I thought it was very comfortable, and saying that, you know, I have 3 years experience in a saddle, so I know how to get it to exactly where I need to, and I found that once I moved that molly, the line of molly, so the top part of the saddle, about an inch or two below my waistline, that's where I found it to be the most comfortable. And I've seen a lot of guys say that it rides up and does certain things. That can be mitigated, and they do have the micro fit adjusters that will help you cup up underneath and keep it in place. But I found just by toying around with it here that if I keep it an inch or two below that waistline, so not super intuitive, but move it down a little bit lower, then it's actually very comfortable. That being said, if you don't have a lot of experience in the saddle, or any saddle in general, you might not find it initially very comfortable. If you're willing to put in the time, put in the work of playing with it, shooting out of it, and just messing with it in your backyard, I think you can absolutely get it to a point where you are very comfortable. My concluder and kind of final impression of the Mantis is it's kind of a varsity saddle, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So if you have a lot of experience in a saddle and that's the feeling that you're used to, because hunting out of saddle, it definitely takes some getting used to, then I think the Mantis is an awesome option. If you're brand new to saddle hunting and you are not quite sure on the feeling yet, and you're not comfortable in just the feeling of hanging back in a saddle by sitting in a tree stand, then the Mantis will take some work for you to get used to. It's not the strap-on, pull out of the box strap-on, and it's instantly feels awesome type of saddle. It's gonna be the one that you gotta play around with a little bit to find that comfort point. So I wanna say the Mantis is a little bit more of like a varsity saddle. And if you can get used to the way it feels and you can toy with it a little bit and get it to where it's comfortable for you, then all those other aspects that I talked about, like the weight, the portability, the breathability, those will come to bear, and you will have an awesome hunting platform to work with. So overall impression to me is that the Mantis is an awesome hunting tool, and I am absolutely going to use it. I have the Kestrel Flex, and I did a video on that earlier, and I'm probably going to use them both. Initially I was looking at maybe buying them both and then selling one, or maybe that's just what I told myself so that I would be justified in buying both of them. But now that I've got both of them have their strengths and weaknesses, the Mantis, I think I'm going to use it a lot in the early season, or if I have a especially long pack-in and I'm concerned about weight. The Flex, Maybe if I'm doing all day sits, rut hunts, or later in the season when it's not quite as warm out, I think that's where the flex is gonna fit into my hunting strategy. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw today, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you have any questions about this saddle or anything that I'm doing, go ahead and leave a comment below and I'd be happy to get back to you on that. Also, if you like traditional bow hunting, deer hunting, or saddle hunting, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting videos on hunting later this fall. So until then, get outdoors and be safe out there. Thanks for watching.